Madame la Première ministre, bienvenue à l'émission.
Merci beaucoup. Merci de l'invitation.
Now, we want to thank you for coming to our studios. In general, CJAD 100 does not get one-on-one interviews with a sitting premier, and especially when it's a PQ or a CAC premier. Your predecessor, François Legault, did not come here in 8 years. So what should I read into the fact that you're here today?
Well, Thanks for inviting me. First, I'm really glad to be here this morning to get a chance to discuss with you. It was important for me to get in touch with the English-speaking Quebecers community, and therefore I thought that CJAD 800 would be a nice way to start that conversation, and therefore here I am.
So would that be a good indication that moving forward, and let's say you're elected in October, that CJAD and other English media, because I think there's been some complaints from other English media outlets as well, will have better access to you and high-profile cabinet ministers?
It is my intention, yeah. I think that our government, first cares a lot about the English-speaking community, and we want to have a dialogue, and as you know, tone matters, and I want to have a positive tone when it comes to English-speaking Quebecers. And therefore, here I am, and I would want to maintain that discussion should I be elected again next October, and to make sure that we benefit from your contribution, either in Montreal, Metropolis, or Quebec as a whole. We have important institutions, and I'm thinking about, for example, 2 world-class universities, Concordia and McGill. They contribute a lot to the society, and I think it has to be recognized, and we need to develop collaboration and common projects.
Okay, so I guess with that in mind, come the election campaign, which will end up there in an election campaign, we'll have debates. Are you open to an English debate if you're asked?
I'm not there because we haven't decided yet which debates we will be organizing and holding, and therefore I leave my team to analyze the different invitations that we are getting.
You yourself, though, you'd be open to it. It seems like you'd be open to such a thing, just given your candor here about why you're here.
It's a possibility, so we'll see. Because we have a lot of invitations, it's a possibility.
Okay, so let's talk about that relationship with the English-speaking community, because I wonder if it's too late to reset your party's relationship with Anglos. I think the last 8 years, especially as the mandate continued and the second term came around, the relationship between Anglos and the CAC became particularly fraught. So is it too late to mend that relationship?
I don't think so. I was hearing exactly the same thing when I got elected as premier. People would say, oh, unfortunately, it's too late for them because the CAC will not be re-elected. And we can see that winds are changing. We can see that there's, again, an openness from Quebecers, an interest in hearing about the coalition. And I think that the same thing can happen with the English-speaking community in Quebec.
Is it fair to say you need support from Anglophones, from non-Francophones, if you want to get past the finish line in October?
It is important to get support from all communities in Quebec, and of course it includes English-speaking community. And I'm sure that we will get to connect in the coming months.
So, one of the things that has disappointed me as an Anglo in Quebec that tries his hardest to integrate and be part and make sure that the French culture is part of my life as well. One thing that's disappointed me, Coalition Avenir Québec, the first word is coalition. And I don't find necessarily that Anglophones are invited into that coalition. So let me ask you, what kind of weight do you feel Anglophones should have inside your party?
Well, it has to be convened between us. It's not for me to decide alone. I think it takes two to tango. And therefore, I want to develop a dialogue with the English-speaking community and see what kind of openness they have and what kind of projects or initiatives we could put forward. For example, we have developed a program recently in order to help English-speaking community get access to services, health services in English. And it shows that we care, especially for aging population. We want to help them get out of the isolation, loneliness they are often living and going through. And therefore, we have put forward with Christopher Skeet, mainly, many initiatives, and we want to make them, to have them be used by the English-speaking community and make sure to identify future possibilities.
What are the issues, political issues, that you believe your party, the CAQ, and Anglos are actually aligned on, and that there is a bridge there that you can start that new dialogue?
I think that access to health care services is an example, because there are rights enshrined in our laws in order for you to access these services, and it is important for us as well. Yeah. We have put a lot of efforts in making sure that more Quebecers get a fast access to health services, and it includes, of course, English-speaking community. And so we are still working on it, because we're coming from very far when it comes to the health system. But we are making sure, for example, to implement new technologies in order for patients to get access to the information they should have access to when it comes to their own dossier. And this is an example. We want to turn our back on the fax era.
Yeah, of course, which has always been a struggle in our healthcare system.
We are entering a digital era in the health sector, and this will benefit everyone.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
So you promised a different tone with the English community. I saw some analysis that suggests this is a message primarily sent to the business community in Montreal, in Quebec. But what do you say to all Quebecers, you know, the million Quebecers that count English in their backgrounds here? Was this different tone meant for everyone or just for the business community?
It's also, for example, for students and university leaders. I just indicated that they have to be recognized, and we need to work with them. Of course, we want them also to help fight against the decline of French, and I think they have tools to do that. And I understand that there is a certain will to do that, and so I think we have common views potentially on that. But students, university leaders, college leaders are examples, but also citizens. When I'm talking about the aging population getting access more easily to health services, this is an example of a very large will.
So despite that promise of a new tone, you know, your party almost immediately went after access to adult education in English, vocational training in English. A lot of people said that bill's never going to pass, and it did not pass. Last Friday, that bill didn't pass. So many people thought, well, this is more of the same old, same old. Promise some sort of heavy-handed action, create anxiety, because that created a lot of anxiety in the community, didn't eventually pass. And people look at that and say, that's not new tone. That's same old, same old.
A tone is something different than a bill, I'd say. But as you know, we need to protect French, and French language will always be vulnerable in North America. And we've seen a decline, especially between the year 2016 to year 2021. And we need to reverse that decline. And so we are looking at the different options that are in front of us in order to reverse that decline. But that doesn't mean that we should not respect the rights of the English-speaking community. So, but we need to have a balance. How can we reverse that decline? And how?
But was that an example of a balance to just say, okay, no more for adults, talking about adults here, no more education and this is like 27,000 students we heard from the English school boards. They're saying, wow, there was no consultation. That was another thing. This bill came in, you didn't even talk to the English school boards before putting in such a bill. And again, I appreciate that we want a different tone, but it seemed like this was the same old playbook, not a different tone.
I understand that if we bring back this bill, and we will, should we be re-elected, we can modify the process in order to consult the English community, Quebecers. Therefore, I think the process could have been improved. As you know, we were in a sort of a hurry because we had only 3 weeks within the parliament, so we put forward a lot of bills. We tabled many of them. Fortunately, we adopted 11 of them. But should we be elected for 4 more years, I think that we will have more time to consult and to put in place.
And just, another thing, just in the last couple of weeks, there's a brunch restaurant in St. Henry. It's called Arthur's Nosh Bar. The OQLF recently went after the restaurant for that word nosh, which is a Yiddish word, it's not an English word. But it appears like every time there's a word, pub Burgundy, Lion Burgundy, go Habs go, go, now this word nosh. If a non-French word enters the public lexicon, OQLF goes after it. Again, on tone. Do you think the OQLF is doing a proper job here, especially if you want a new tone with non-Francophones and Anglophones? Maybe
we can improve the tone used by the OQLF. And we've seen with Go Habs Go that finally everyone agreed that it was a common expression and we needed to keep that because it's part of our culture. And Burgundy was not referring to the color, but rather the neighborhood. And therefore, I think that these should be analyzed before taking positions when it comes to OQLF.
Do you get exasperated sometimes when the headlines come up and you're like, okay, we're at it again?
Yeah, I think that we have to take lessons from past experiences, and these are examples.
Okay, on Friday night, I think we were all surprised when Montreal Police Chief Fadi Daguerre called an impromptu press conference, tells us 16 officers have either been suspended or reassigned pending an investigation into what he called unacceptable behavior, Station 39 in Montreal North. You must have more details than the general public. These are apparently young members of the SPVM, the type of members that are supposed to be better at dealing with cultural communities, Montreal cultural communities. What's going on here?
This is completely unacceptable, what was explained by Fadi Daguerre. I want to thank him because he's been trying for years to implement a new culture and much more respect. And
is it failing if we see this already?
I don't think so, because I was hearing him, I was listening to him, and I heard that he said that these practices, very racist practices, were denounced by other policemen and women. And he said that he wasn't sure that this would have happened had he not implemented this new culture. And therefore, there are some silver lining, I'd say, even though the situation is completely unacceptable. And I'm glad that they acted on 16 policemen and women, maybe. I don't know if they are women. But this is important to act quickly on that kind of situation.
Do we need to wait for more details before we come out with our...
I would, on my personal opinion. I talked with the mayor, Soraya Martinez Ferrada, yesterday, and we talked about the different measures that should be put in place. We are, on our side, working with new tools in order to increase the level of security of the population. Will these new tools be implemented on a more large
Does that include body cams? Because the city of Montreal said the holdup is Quebec. Quebec City, that's where the holdup is. Is there still a holdup on your part on body cams?
We have implemented different pilot projects with body cams, and we are waiting for having the results of these pilot projects. And if it is conclusive and positive, we will consider enlarging the implementation of these body cams.
Your opponents, the Liberals, the Parti Québécois, they spent the weekend sniping at each other.
Sniping.
What's going through your mind when you see your political opponents go through a weekend like this one?
I can't believe that these two old political parties are bickering and fighting around topics that are not of preoccupation for Quebecers. We are working on true preoccupations and true challenges for Quebecers. And we're working on cost of living and getting more access to healthcare centers and so on. But I also think that it is not for political leaders to start accusing other political parties of adopting behaviors that should be not acceptable. When I saw the leader of the PQ with his articles, newspapers articles, like showing his proofs, like he does an investigator. I mean, he's not an investigator. I'm not one. I don't pretend to be one. And I don't think that other political leaders should pretend to be investigators. And it seemed to me that he was trying to do so, just to justify himself.
Well, I'll tell you,
Quebecers want us to work together on priorities, cost of living, health, education, and also protection of our culture and infrastructures and so on. And so bickering like this is not helping.
Is this a race or a marathon?
For me?
For the election. Yeah,
For
the
me?
election.
It is a marathon because it started last January.
Yeah.
And we've put in place a tight plan, as you've seen, during the last 60 days. And I'm really proud of what we accomplished. And I intend to keep that speed and that tempo until October. And afterwards, if Quebecers give me the opportunity to do so.
I hope to see you again here real soon. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a
Christine
nice day.
Fréchette, the Premier of Quebec.
Thank you.
Close your eyes, and you can hear the entire world come alive. 2026 FIFA World Cup is on, and you can stream it all live on TSN Radio. From the opening kickoff to the final celebration, every match, every moment. Listen to FIFA World Cup on TSN Radio.
Gives Canada the lift off.
Available on iHeartRadio.